That's it. As you can see, Brett and I are working on our playoff beards. Coming in nice, by the way. But thanks for joining us for the Eternal Baseball Podcast. It is playoff season. And they're all good ones come playoff time, right? But we got a good one tonight with the Atlanta Braves taking on the Chicago Cubs Game One of the NLCS. So excited to get out to the Windy City. You've been to Wrigley, right, Roto?
I have. Yes, it was a struggle to get on the subway. It was so packed. It was one of those where we let one go by, and then the next one showed up. It was just a wall of people. Right. And my buddy's like, "Okay, we just gotta go." So we kind of like just took 3 steps, kind of did a jump with our elbows in, and we made it.
And you made a new friend, probably.
There was a couple of chagrined faces, but we kind of burrowed to the back real quick, and anyway.
Nothing 20 minutes of flesh-to-flesh contact with a stranger won't save.
My wallet was intact too, so that's great.
There you go.
Yeah, great field. I enjoyed Wrigley quite a bit.
I've never been to Wrigley. It's one of those. I don't care who you root for, right? You want to see a game in Wrigley, right? So
there were 20 games under 500 that season, but at that point, I think it was like July, but
cheap tickets. Well, that's what we got. We'll be going out to Wrigley Field shortly.
Oh no, Cameron's already corrected me.
Oh no! Hold on, let me get back to the comments here.
Although in my defense, I've only been there like 5 or 6 days total out of my life, so I'm gonna give myself a little.
Oh right, it's the elevator or the L, right? To quote Elwood Blues, right? How often does that train go by? So often you won't even notice.
Such a good movie.
Cameron's here under his new, apparently his witness protection.
Yeah, welcome Cameron, welcome Tino, welcome Dave, welcome Brian.
Tino's here, I think happy about his Tigers getting a split in the first 2 games in Yankee Stadium, and the ALCS tied up 1-1. Game 3 will be tomorrow in Comerica Park. Dave McDonald is here. I was flying solo last week. There were plenty of shenanigans, but there's nothing more power than the ICWF Tag Team Champions rolling again. So we appreciate you guys joining us. It is Eternal Baseball. We call it the best baseball ever. It's every player in baseball history, all at their absolute peak, competing simultaneously for an Eternal Championship. And with the A's out, we're guaranteed a new champion. So the king is dead. So no Oakland repeat. And we've had 4 seasons. Giants won the first season. Yankees won the next 2, and then Oakland won the last one. So if we can just get the Yankees out of there, we'll have new blood wearing the crown this year. So
all right,
we'll see if we can make that.
We'll give a quick plug to Cameron's music. 3rd String Armchair.
Oh, there we go.
I get it. All right, check it out.
Fair enough. Dig that. Maybe we can come on your show. And we can be your research.
Critique your technique.
No. No, but usually when we're stuck with, hey, was Jimmy Key drafted by the Blue Jays? And we don't actually have the time to type it in. Cam's head of the research department helping us out. So if he was like, did Jimi Hendrix play left-handed or right-handed? I can be like, ooh, I'm all over that. Left-handed, by the way. Okay, so I talked about the ALCS briefly. Oh, before I get into that, sorry, birthdays. This is my favorite. Always search the birthday boys and how they're ranked by WAR to get, the most dominant player listed first. So it's not Carlos Zambrano. It's not Derek Lowe. It's not Dean Chance. Not Randy Hundley, though those are all fine birthday boys today. It's Theodore Breitenstein. I don't know. Played for Cincinnati in 1891 to 1901. So Theo.
Hoser's name. Yeah.
Yeah. So he would be 124. No, older than that. If he played in 1891, he had to be born in like 1871. So, yeah, he's like 153. He's great in that senior league.
Looks great, though.
Yeah. Doesn't look a day over 130. So.
Must be the genes.
Yeah, that's it. I loved him in Last Crusade with Indiana Jones. Great flick. But we talked about the ALCS for a second, so we'll recap it. Oh, look at this. Cobain, Hendrix, no Paul McCartney. Just saying.
Oh my God.
Put Cobain above McCartney. Okay, just saying. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so in the ALCS Game One, Yankees got homers from Mickey Mantle, Lou Gehrig, and Derek Jeter, and kind of ran away to a 9-4 win. But the next day, Hal Newhouser was angry about the whole thing. I read up about him because I didn't know anything about him other than he keeps churning out 20-win seasons. And I guess he was meticulous, like an absolute perfectionist. And immediately I thought of Paul O'Neill. But O'Neill's fury was always self focused. It was never mad at another teammate, or at least not visibly so. So O'Neill beating up water coolers and kicking a ball in to hit the cutoff man. That was always who was mad at himself. Apparently, Newhouser was a bit of a prickly teammate because he had extremely high standards, as evidenced by his 4-hit shutout in Game 2. As the Tigers won 2-0 to even the series 1-1. And as I said, Game 3 will be tomorrow as the series moves moves to Comerica Park for the next 3 because we do the 2-3-2 format. So the Tigers play their cards right. They may not even go back to Yankee Stadium, right? Might be it. So we'll see. I think it's, let me see, Game 3. Justin Verlander against Ron Guidry. Yeah, no big deal. They're all good matchups now. Let's see. So tonight, Cubs versus Braves, and kind of a story of duality. They both won their division series with Game 5 road wins over favored teams. Braves beat the Giants, who were the number 2 seed. Cubs beat the Phillies, who were easily the best team in the regular season. So nice rallies on the road. They did split their season series 3-3. So it looks like a good game, and the matchup's spectacular. It's Mordecai Brown, 22-11 with a 2.71 against John Smoltz, 8-3, 2.58. And Smoltz actually started the year in the Atlanta bullpen. No offense to John Smoltz, they're just stacked. And Atlanta's rotation scuffled a little bit. The opportunity came up, Smoltz went in and never looked back. And I was, of those guys, of the big 3, right? Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz, I always feared or respected Smoltz the most because he was the one that got better in the playoffs. Maddox was maybe about the same or a little slip, and Glavine wasn't nearly as effective. Maybe they weren't calling that pitch 8 inches off the plate. Right? I
mean, Smoltz had a cannon too of the 3, right?
Yeah.
The other 2 were sort of paying the corners, as you're saying, right?
Absolutely. I saw Glavine pitch live once, and it just, I mean, he was brilliant, but he was maddening to watch because he would start right on the black, right? And then he would go an inch off, and then he'd go 2 inches off. And by like the 8th inning, he's like throwing 3 feet off the plate. Again, just guys are just getting rung up. And I'm like, it's not even close, right? If a lefty had been up, he'd have hit him. But cool, you do you, Blue. Appreciate it. McCartney reference. Yeah, I think we gotta accept the Beatles for what they are now. All right.
I don't remember that Seinfeld episode.
Somebody yelled on Facebook on a Yankee page we're part of when I pumped up the ALCS or something. And I always try to show the depth of through time of the lineup. So no matter who I'm talking about, I'll say, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, Derek Jeter, and Aaron Judge, and the rest of the Yankees, of the all-time Yankees, take on the Detroit Tigers. And for the Tigers, I'm saying, Rudy York and Al Kaline and Hank Greenberg and Cecil Fielder. And I'm just trying to show all these guys are teammates. on one Yankee page, somebody goes, where's Costanza? And I said, Costanza signed with the Mets and his career went in the toilet.
Ooh.
And I got a big thumbs up. So it's never too early to get on the Snide bandwagon.
That's funny.
What else we got here? Yeah.
He could bring it.
Yeah. Whether or not that was all natural, it was still something. There was a great bit from the Yankee booth I saw posted this week where Michael Kay's son said to his mom to text dad at work and said, "Hey, ask dad to get a selfie with Neil O'Paul." And Paul O'Neill's great in the booth. He's like, "That's cool. I'll go with it. It's fine. That's my new name now, Neil O'Paul." But anyway, we got baseball. So let me fire the screen up here. Because this is the game we're playing today is actually a Sunday game. And that means as soon as we sign off, and I know y'all can't wait, I got to sim tomorrow's game. So game 2 will be tomorrow. It'll be up tomorrow morning, as well as that ALCS game 3. So
quick turnaround. I like it.
It would. Yeah, you like it. I'm on the East Coast, man. I'm not getting any work done tomorrow. No, never mind. If my boss is watching, 8 a.m. bright and early. Okay, so present, share screen, and audio on. There you go. So there's a regular season standings if you want to peruse them. I did start looking at MVP and Cy Young candidates. So I'll send that list over to Roto this week and we'll start culling it down. But you might get an idea looking over here at the batting and the pitching leaders. Who's likely to get out there. And we'll post those up.
Chuck Klein is just a machine.
He's such a demon, right? Like, come on. His average fell off somewhat. I mean, but to 320 against this level of pitching.
Yeah.
But
I mean, look at the home runs, RBIs.
Yeah. The ridiculous one, though, is Williams, right? Like 68 homers, 158 RBIs, 1,083 OPS. Just
yes.
We have never seen a spike like that on a guy because Williams was a fantastic player, but he was a 40 homer guy. So this must be a guy who got that full 30% modification, the highest you could possibly get.
Yeah,
and
dialed in.
Didn't hit much in the playoffs, though. That's why Baltimore's golfing right now. But here's the playoff bracket. And if I do say so myself, if you're used to seeing this posted online, I add a lot of bells and whistles to it, don't I? Right? I put logos, I put where we are, the ALCS, ALDS, that stuff. So I deserve some credit for that. That's what I do.
Definitely.
But here we are. Here's how we got here. And right now we are. Let me just make sure I got the days right here. Yep, Game 1, June 1st. That's us. Atlanta at Chicago. Human play. Look at Spencer Strider's mustache. That was awesome. I don't know where the pictures went. Okay, anyway, we know who started. It's John Smoltz versus I was going to say Ed Rollback, but it's not him. That's short by ERA. Here we go. Mordecai. All right, so, and I know Cam's Mr. Cub, so if you want to chime in, let me know. Will Bobby Cox get ejected tonight? Probably. Yeah. I saw somebody on Tampa today got run arguing a strike one call, and it's the new thing with umps. Because in spring training, they had the challenge system. So if you wanted to challenge a call, you just tapped your helmet. So this guy took a walk, shaking his head, and then turned around and said something to the ump. The ump said something, and the guy hit his helmet with both hands. And the ump was cooler than anything. He's like, "You, gone."
Wow.
And he just lost it. They had to hold it back. I don't remember who it was because Tampa Bay. I mean, come on. But he had to get held back. He was. Okay. That's fair. All right. So one thing I do want to do here, let me pop it up. Looking at the last round. So division series, Cubs and Phillies game. I'm just looking at the box score for the last Cubs-Phillies series. The last game the Cubs played. And we can see who's really scuffling in the postseason. It's Billy Williams and Ernie Banks. Holy smokes.
Wow.
067 and 037.
Whew.
And that's through several games. So Baez is a pinch runner. Mark Grace hasn't been doing much. Gabby Hartnett's been incredible. Santo's been really good. Chris Bryant's been really good. So just a couple things to think about. I'm not saying Williams and Banks won't play, but we might want to temper their spot in the order. Okay, so it's Cubs versus right-handers. So we've got Riggs Stevenson with the best OPS by far. He doesn't have a position. So, yeah, Cam's down with that. Yeah, move him down in the order. We can do that. But we love Hack Wilson. So Wilson's definitely going to play. Ron Santo is in. Who's our best OPS or on base guy? If not Stevenson, yeah, it does look like Sandberg. Are you cool with Sandberg leading off, Roto?
Sure.
All right. And then Billy Williams. I think we got to sink him even more. With the DH eaten up by Stevenson, Aramis Ramirez is sitting. But maybe it's Chris Bryant in right. Oh, and Hartnett was hitting the ball a ton. So Hartnett catching. Then, so we got Billy Williams in left. It's our first left-hander. Ernie Banks. Oh, we need a first baseman.
You do Banks. Well, Banks can play first too, right?
You can play Banks at first. He's actually a very good first. They got Banks as an 8, Grace as a 9, and Rizzo as an 8. So you got lots of quality options over there at first base. And Javi Baez is a 9 at shortstop. He just hasn't played much at all. So, but you could go with Baez and Banks in the same lineup as long as you play Banks at first base.
Yeah, that sounds
Like
good
that?
to me. We could run that one by Cameron, see what he thinks. But
He said he's cool with us picking it. I think he's trying to avoid culpability. But yeah,
that's pretty good. We got Sosa off the bench.
Yeah, and Sosa murders lefties. So I don't know if Atlanta has a lefty going in this series, but Fried. He'll probably go against Max Fried in game 3. Okay, so Williams, Banks, and Baez getting his first start, hitting 9th, but playing that fabulous defense. So that's
Good.
Cubs. Oh, let me hide that. And then let me pop up the last Atlanta game when they beat Frisco. And see, scroll this up a little bit so it's not so tidy. So Chipper Jones, not so good, but everybody else is hitting okay.
Murph's doing well. Yeah.
Murphy's doing great.
Gosh, they're all doing pretty well. Aaron Matthews.
That was McCann's first game, I think, 0 for 3. So the 0 average shouldn't scare you too much. But
I mean, Torrey can catch, right, for them?
Yeah, they're great.
Murphy can catch.
Murphy can catch. Torrey can catch. McCann can catch. And they have Javi Lopez, too.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of options behind the plate because Torrey can also play first base. But it looks like if we play Chipper Jones, we'll probably slide him down. He's the one guy that's not hitting where we'd like. So, okay, so it's Braves versus right-handers. Eddie Matthews is the best bat. If we play McGriff second, that'll let us go righty-lefty, righty-lefty. On base, our best guy is Murphy.
You can lead off Murphy.
Is that all right? Catcher in a pinch. All right, so and then Torrey third, he'll catch. Chipper
Cameron has a quick change if we can go back afterwards.
We can. Hang on.
Okay. It's a pretty simple
Breaking up Williams and Banks. Okay, we can hit Baez 8th. That's no problem. I'm going to play, even though the season numbers say Chipper should be next, he's really struggling. No one's going to complain about Hank Aaron hitting 5th. Or if they do, they're watching the wrong channel.
Make your argument.
Right? What do you mean Hank Aaron's hitting 5th? What do you ever do? Hugh Duffy is
What did he ever
incredible.
do? Hank, I never heard of him. Is that one
Yeah.
of those
Who?
turn of the century guys?
Is that Henry Aaron? Never heard of that guy. Let's see. Okay, so we got room for Chipper at DH. We need a second baseman and a shortstop.
Probably Herman Long, huh?
Yeah, Herman Long is nobody's ever heard of him, but he is. It's fun. It's weird how teams that have been around as long as the Braves, right, can have this 100 years with no standout shortstop.
Yeah.
I got
Andreas Thomas. Come on.
Right, Jeff Blauser.
Jeff Blauser.
Right? Rafael Ramirez.
Blauser to Lemke to
Dude, a lot of TBS games when that was the only baseball in Bend, Oregon. I mean, they got Rabbit Moranville, right? Who's a 9. He just doesn't hit. And I tried before you save the email, right? I played Acuna the whole last 10 games of the season, and he hit like trash. So it ain't my fault, okay? I gave him a shot. He can't crack it. Oh man, Galliard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hey man, if you want fun defensively, nobody ever did it better than Andrelton Simmons, right? Like, I saw him field grounders behind his back before the game, right? Like, no big deal. Like, he was an absolute circus.
I used to love Andreas Thomas, man, because the guy would always charge the ball. Like, you never saw him get in a traditional fielding position. Like, I don't recall that ever happening once.
I remember I was excited about that guy because I forget if he was a rated rookie or a top all-star rookie.
Yeah.
I got him in a pack, and I'm like, oh, this guy's going to be big. Yeah, not so much. Sometimes there's just no great rookie shortstop. That's the way I went. Okay, so I got Hugh Duffy in left, probably Chipper, DH.
Those are the year of cards, right? Where we bought the whole set for $20 from Pegasus Books. Yep. And then you look it up now and it's worth 18.
Yeah. If you can get that, right?
It's like, this is basically just kindling.
Yeah. Just in case it gets cold out there, man. Winter's coming.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's it's second base. It's the numbers say Rafael Furcal.
Sure.
But he's in the paper.
Put Ozzy in.
Ozzy instead.
No one's gonna begrudge us that one.
The PR department loves that move. So okay. So hang on, we'll go back to the Cubs. And by popular demand, Jesus, we'll hit Ernie Banks 9th. Hey man, it's eternal baseball. Anything could happen. Okay. So there we go. We're ready for baseball.
Imagine being the skip, loading that lineup up.
Can you imagine going out to the mound and going, look, man, this is the 9 hitter. You really got to get this guy because we don't want to pitch to Sandberg. So I want you to really go after this Ernie Banks character. Tough room.
Pitching for Chicago, Mordecai, Brown. Leading off for Atlanta, center fielder, number 9, Dale Murphy.
Look at this Murphy picture, right?
Love Murphy.
You just know right after they took that picture, he was just cursing up a blue streak, right? Just
Murphy?
Like, yeah, dude.
Murphy was about as clean cut. I don't doubt that guy's ever sworn in his life.
Dude, there's a great bit online where they traded. Braves have been bad forever. Murphy was almost done. They trade him away to Philly, I think. And then he ends up with the Rockies after that because they want him to get some playoff games, right? They were trying to help him. But that's right when Atlanta got good out of nowhere. And there's a weekend series where things get rough with Philly. And they hit whoever their Ron Gant or whoever the star is at the time in Atlanta. And they tell Glavine, you have to hit Murphy. And he was like, it's Dale Murphy, man. I'm going to hit Dale Murphy.
That's the nicest guy ever.
So he throws like the weakest breaking ball that's coming in on him, right? And it misses him. Murphy doesn't really try to get out of the way of it. It misses him. And Glavine's already embarrassed. And you can see Murphy look at him like, I get it. I get it. And he dances around a couple other, weak-ass inside pitches. And I don't think he ever hit him. He tried, kind of. And Glavine was in like his second year, maybe, right?
So there was, he wasn't established veteran.
No, when he comes back to the dugout, the vets are all over him. You're not going to hang around here long, kid. if you don't stand up for your teammates. He's like, it's Dale Murphy.
That's right.
It's like throwing inside on Jesus. Like,
I mean, there's got to be somebody else on that Philly team he could have plunked, right?
right? You gotta imagine Juan Samuel had to be asking for it, right?
Young Croc or whatever.
Oh, look at this. Not to let real baseball interfere, but is it Jack Caglione or something?
I just know it's Italian. I can't quite remember that.
Right? And normally I'd be running to my fantasy league, but if he was available, you'd have got him already. So,
that guy's been taken forever.
Yeah, forever, right? Good to see Marcelo Mayer. Is that how you say it in the show? I've had him for more than a year, right? Come on.
Oh, cool. How's he doing?
Yeah, he's okay. Better than Trevor Story, though, who looks cooked. That might be it for that
That's
story.
tough. Everybody goes from the Rockies somewhere else, man. That's tough.
He falls apart. I remember when all those shortstops were coming free agent at the same time and the Yanks needed one. I was on the Corey Seager bandwagon. Give me Corey Seager. Give me the only one that hits lefty of that crop, right? And the guy with the World Series MVP. That's my horse. And he's been fine in Texas when he's healthy. But he's got that LeBron load management thing going, I guess. So anyway. All right. Time for baseball. So here's how it's been going when I sim the playoff games. I'm going through each one live. Well, not live on the air, but I want to make sure they don't sub in like the game 3 starting pitcher in game 2. I don't want the computer to monkey up a playoff series by not looking big picture. So game 1, I'm the home team because we usually play as the home team. And then any other one, I'm playing as the team. And if a team is down, I'm playing as that team. But I'm keeping an eye on both sides because I don't want anything weird to happen. The last thing I want is to post up a box score for a playoff game where they played a pitcher at DH. Because that has happened in the regular season once or twice. It makes me mad every time. So we will be the Cubs tonight. Since they're the home team and the series.
We're kind of rooting for Murphy a little bit.
Just
a little bit.
I don't have any problem with either one of these teams, so I'm cool with it either way. But I got it.
Play ball.
All right, so here we go.
Play ball.
Three Finger Brown. You know how Three Finger Brown got his nickname by flipping off 3 umpires
First
in the
baseman,
same game.
Number 27, Fred.
You're just calling for a review.
Oh, look at this. Caglione. Okay.
Caglione.
Mm-hmm. But he goes by Jack Castle. His nickname's the Punisher. Yeah, he's going to be good. Okay.
All right.
Strike 3.
Catcher, number 15, Joe.
Look at Torrey. I don't think Torrey ever aged. I think he looked like that as a baby.
Such a Goomba. I love that guy so much.
One of the best stories. My favorite team will always be the 96 Yankees because they were the first Yankee team that won a title after I became a fan. So I took a lot of flack as a Yankee fan starting in like 85 because nobody likes the Yankees. They win all the time. And I'm like, dude, I've never seen them win. And it took a long time for them to win. They were terrible in the early 90s. But that 96 team will always be my favorite squad. And after they lost the first 2 to Atlanta, Torrey Steinbrenner came into Torrey's office and was just fuming, just exploding. And Torrey was like, look, we're going to Atlanta. Atlanta's my town. We'll sweep them in Atlanta. We'll come back. We'll win it for you in game 6 here in the Bronx. And Steinbrenner, it was a first-year manager, right? A guy who hadn't had a whole lot of success as a manager. And he was like patting George on the head, calm down. Atlanta's my town. And sure enough, there you go.
I love it.
All right, here's Joe Torre. He better run that out.
I think Baez has it. Whoa, wait.
Look at the wheels.
Oh, Torrey.
Number 41.
Well done.
Eddie.
I guess we shouldn't be rooting for the Braves, but there we go.
So 2 on, 1 out. Here's Eddie Matthews with 1 T. He's so counterculture. He's wearing the Milwaukee hat. That's pretty badass. Going for 2. He's in there.
Right fielder.
Murphy scores.
Number 44.
1-0 Braves.
Yeah, just this one guy we never heard of is up.
Yeah. was the guy. But when they signed him, it was right after the Yankees had that really good year in 94, right? Or 95. And after the strike canceled their first good season in years in 94. And I really liked Buck Showalter. And the Yankees did too, but they wanted to make changes to his staff. And Buck said, if you fire any of my coaches, you should fire me too. And they did. But I respected the stand.
Bluff called.
Yeah, but I really liked Showalter and Torrey as a manager. His record was not so good in Atlanta and in St. Louis. And I remember a Yankee fan friend of mine, I sent him an email, early days of email. And I said, Yankees passed the buck, outlook Torreable. Right. Hey.
That's pretty good.
Future journalist, and dead wrong too. So okay. All right. So here's the hammer. Oh, Santos up to the task. Maybe not.
He's there. 2 infield hits.
No, he got him.
He got him.
Just barely.
Santo.
Hugh Duffy is an incredible bunter and a very dapper dresser. Look at that. Look at the.
Is it a cravat? What is it?
I think it's lace up with a collar, which is I have one. Everyone should.
Yeah, I'm surprised J. Crew hasn't brought that back yet.
Yeah, I'll wear it next week.
That would be so
a good
rad.
look for men. You can get it at Abercrombie and Bitch. Yeah. But he's not buttoned here.
I like how there are certain styles where like even the big houses are like, yeah, we can't make this work.
No. It's a good look for a hockey jersey, maybe. But
Pitching for Atlanta.
even the hockey guys.
Number
You ever see a hockey
29,
guy with
John
the lace up
Smoltz.
tied?
Leading
No.
off for Chicago, second baseman, Ryan Sandberg.
Look at Ryan Sandberg. Come on now. Line starts on the left, ladies.
Whoa.
He's giving Murphy a run. Murphy
Third baseman, Ron
Okay,
Santo.
we're right back.
All right.
Strike 3.
Oh, Santo striking out.
Center fielder, Hack
You're
Wilson.
going to miss Hack Wilson's homer. Almost.
Designated hitter, number 10, Chipper Jones.
So we go to the top of the second. 1-0 Braves. Oh, here you go. Good tip here. He played in Boston? Huh, I didn't know that. Look at Cam. Eddie Matthews, the only Brave to play at all 3 cities. Okay. I didn't know he played in Boston. Here's Chipper Jones. Hey, what's Chipper Jones's real first name?
Larry.
Larry, that's right.
I only know that because was it Piazza that used to make fun of him?
I know the
Shortstop,
Mets fans used to
number
chant it
19,
at him. Larry,
Long.
Larry.
I think Piazza used to give him some grief behind the plate there when they played.
What's up, Larry?
Yeah, the press asked him about it. He's like, I'm not calling a grown man Chipper. Sorry.
I guess that's
Second
fair.
baseman, number 1, Ozzie Albies.
Here's Ozzie Albies. One of my favorite photos in Eternal Baseball, right? You think you just got a hold of one right there? Holy smokes. Reminded me, there was an old, I think it was an Upper Deck card of Eddie Murray towards the end. He might have been an Indian or a Dodger. And he was on his follow through, the bat was actually touching the ground. And Eddie was looking straight up. And I'm like, wow, which photographer did Eddie Murray piss off? Here's Ozzie Albies. And if you
what's
think,
the camera? What's that quote? Is that Clue?
Designated
Clue
hitter, Rick
yeah,
Stevenson.
who was really, guy was that Brewers pitcher who won a Cy
Was it
Young in the 80s.
Vukovic? No.
Vukovic.
Vukovic? Was that right?
Yeah, Pete Vukovic. How's your wife and my kids? Taylor, you're back up here? Yeah, I couldn't hack the Mexican League. How's your wife and my kids? Oh, look at Rick Stevenson doing what he does. Oh, and
Right fielder,
I thought they
number
got him.
17.
Did they?
Chris
No, he's
Bryant.
in
He's there.
with a double.
All right,
The computer
Bryant.
doesn't send guys very often. So it's pretty rare for the computer to not even give you the option and then he gets thrown out. That doesn't happen much. Here's Chris Bryant. This looks like the origin picture for a supervillain, right? Like the darkness is coming for Chris Bryant.
Yeah, that's like an iPhone effect or something, huh?
Yeah. Little did we know it was actually his contract with Colorado coming to swallow up his baseball career.
I mean, yeah, that's a hard one, man. Because I mean, if he's on his game, and
Yeah. Okay, so if we send Stevenson on the single to left,
is that 50 or 80?
59% with nobody out. I think you got to hold him.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, so we're not running on Hugh Duffy.
Catcher, Gabby,
I
Hartnett.
never liked Duffy, by the way. Bryant is 71% to steal second.
Oof.
You could do the old double steal of Rooney.
I don't know, man. Hardnett's on a roll, right? So maybe we let him rip.
That's true. That's fair. Wow.
71,
What
though.
a change of pace. You're like, calm down, Webb. Don't send the runner.
Who was that NFL coach that used to freeze in the playoff? Or Norv Turner?
Oh, yeah.
I like Norv Turner. The games start to matter, and then
Yeah.
they just like freeze up.
I was in D.C. working at a sports radio station at the end of the North Turner era. And he bitched about the media a couple of times. And I would spend hours editing his press conferences because he was the king of and and I'm like, you complain about the media, dude, but I took your 1 minute and 20-second answer and cut it down to 24 seconds and made you sound completely savvy
Coherent.
on the microphone. Yeah, so just be careful when you're complaining about the media treatment. Norv. All right, here's Gabby Hartnett. Nobody out. Runners first and third. He got a little bit.
That should get a
Hugh
run.
Duffy. It's got to be a sack fly. Yeah. Not even a throw. So there you go.
Left fielder, Billy Williams.
This is actually a pretty good shot right here. If you look at the field itself, I don't know who's at bat. I don't know who's pitching on the game this photo was taken from. But look at the on-deck guy. He's almost closer to the dirt.
Yeah, that's one where the pitcher might let one rip.
Yeah. There was one with...
You gonna tie me? All right, here we go.
I forget if it was Vlad. No, it was Beltray with the Rangers, where the ump was like, you got to back up. And he was like, I'm good, dude. He's like, no, you got to be on the circle. And he went and he moved the circle because it's just like he moved the circle like 6 feet and got run.
Did he?
Great bet.
That's right.
Chris Bryant, 78% to steal second with one out. And slumping Billy Williams at the
Definitely.
plate. All right. Hit and run or straight
I can
slump?
only keep it in check for so long.
Yeah, Williams is struggling, so hit and run's off the table. Straight steal. Go get him, Chris.
Oh, all right. Send him again. 87?
Yeah.
I don't remember Smoltz being that poor at holding people.
Bryant starts and stops. High and outside, ball one. Okay. Go, dude. He's in there. Smoltz upset with himself. 44% to take a third there, Roto.
All right, we got 2 chances to take the lead here. I like it.
All right, Billy Williams.
There we
Did
go.
you get through? Yep. All right, send Brian home. Safe chance 37. No.
How does he go from 87 on a steal attempt to 37 off a...
He's tired.
Jeez.
He's worn out, I think. So
All
no, we'll hang on to
Shortstop,
it.
number 9.
I don't know. Bill, let's see. Bill Self.
Billy
Okay.
Williams, 35%. Oof.
Cameron's saying Bill Self is the same way.
Oh, what's this? Yeah. Yeah. Well, and yeah. Yeah. No.
No.
Fair enough. Here's Javi Baez. Yeah, that one doesn't have the distance.
I love Baez early in his career was great because the first until he had 2 strikes, he had that high leg kick, man, where he would just try to crank it.
And I think I don't know the numbers, but I think like he had 100 walks in his first 5 seasons combined, right? Like he was allergic to walking.
You know, he did a decent job. So he had a tough. I remember I had him on my fantasy team, so that's the only reason I really knew. But he had a tough initial go, and then they brought him back up, and he had worked on his 2-strike. You know, he had just kind of like a little toe tap when he had 2 strikes.
Okay.
But he was like radically different because before he had 2 strikes, his knee was up to his chin, and he was just cranking at it.
I mean, to give him credit, most people, I mean, he was so bad for Detroit the last couple of years that there was talk that they might actually cut him and just eat the money, right? And they asked him if he'd try center field this year. And not only is he hitting, he's playing a really damn good center field. So
he was an amazing defender, like in any place they put him with the Cubs too.
I remember in the World Baseball Classic, he played on, I forget if it was the Dominican team or
was it Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico maybe, but it was Yachty was the catcher. And a couple times Yachty had a guy so dead to rights, he would no look tag him. He would just put it down and point at Yachty at the same time. And I'm like, dude, that is so next level baseball. All right, here's Ernie Banks hitting 9th. Let's see if he wants to hit himself out of that 9 hole.
Yeah, Bias was he was the first guy I ever heard them really talk about like tag speed. Like I never really heard that approach, right? Like,
just like that, Banks lets us down. Oh, hurry.
Yeah, we got one.
But yeah, it is tied up. Here's Dale Murphy.
Foul tip.
Foul tip. Foul ball. All right. 0-2 to Murph.
Strike 3.
Sits him down. Here's Freddie McGriff. Notice how we're giving Fred the proper respect now that he's a Hall of Famer. And I'm not rocking the Tom Amansky photo anymore, where he's doing the Palmero point.
That's got to be on YouTube. I got to actually watch that at some point. It's probably like chock full of like good tips.
He probably strikes it down every time it gets posted, right? Because you got to pay to play, baby. You can't get Tom Amansky's tips for free.
So we're on the deepest, darkest parts of the web. You could
you're gonna have to go to the dark web to find free Tom
dark
Amansky.
web. This is all drug sites and then Tom
Amansky. Here's Fred McGriff.
Strike 3.
Here's Torrey. I think he came clean that he had never
watched it,
never seen it. Just they paid him $5,000 or something to wear the hat and film something.
The hat was great too. I mean, it was like a legit good, like what was it, early '90s trucker hat?
Way too big up top here.
Not like the Ted Williams son thing that they did, but
yeah, it's bad. Here's a Rhino.
Turned head to 4chan. Yeah.
Look at Rhino go deep to left. Oh, it's off the eye. Double though. Lead off double for Ryan Sandberg. Here's Ron Santa.
That's not a lot of walks for Javi Baez.
Right. I'm dead to 4chan. That's right. Okay, here's the hobby notes.
Oh goodness.
See, I said it was like 105 in 5 seasons.
That's amazing.
That's the same pace, pretty much, 20 a year. Man. Here's Ron Santa. Right at Eddie Matthews, though. Hack Wilson, the human fire hydrant. Man, don't hit it to Eddie anymore. Riggs Stevenson. Ooh, he sends that a long way.
Oh, that's gone.
It is gone.
Wow.
See ya. Riggs Stevenson, the man without a position, just cracks a 2-run shot off John Smoltz. It's 3-1 Cubs. 5 hits in 3 innings. Does Atlanta need to start getting somebody ready, Roto, or am I?
I get him out of the inning.
It is a best of 7 series, so I don't have to be quite as jumpy. But yeah, wind must be blowing out. Yeah, it could be. Here's Chris Bryant. There's Eddie Matthews again.
Yes, 3 putouts.
Money, yeah. The Eddie Matthews show. All right. Oh, and now he's up at the plate. Hopefully, maybe he's tired.
We know how that works.
Right? He sends it.
Did he get it? He got.
No, Hack Wilson.
Hack
Wilson
Devil.
dove it. He was mad because it was hit to straightaway center, so he couldn't grab a beer from the fans when he made that catch. Maybe
Just
later.
jogged over to Wrigleyville.
Yeah.
Can you imagine it?
I think
if someone just pulled out a tall boy in the middle of the game.
Tom Browning did that once on a day when he wasn't pitching or either had come out of the game. I think he had come out of the game, so he was ineligible.
He had a tall boy?
He went across the street. They got him on camera rooting for the Reds from the rooftop across the street. I think the Reds themselves find him, right? But
yeah, I mean, you gotta appreciate that.
If you're out of the game, you ain't coming back. So anyway, here's Hank Aaron. Look at Santo. Yep, doing his Eddie Matthews impression. And Hugh Duffy, the mad bunter. He's fast.
This should be a play.
It's got Santo's all over it.
Catcher.
Gabby close.
Hartnett.
Here's Gabby Hartnett.
Strike three.
Sitting down.
Down.
Billy Williams. Oh, look at Billy. Right in there with a double. One down, runner on second. Cubs lead 3-1. Here's Javi Baez. Should Atlanta be warming somebody up with the top of the order coming up?
Yeah, why not?
Guess it can't hurt. All right, so let me take over Atlanta for a second. It's all righties.
All Ossenmacher.
So, no, he's a Cub.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Gene Garber.
It's got to be Dick Rudolph, who won like 24 games, but he's got like their 7th best ERA. So he's in the pen. That's ridiculous. Dick Rudolph, you're my man. Start warming. And I got to give control back to the computer here. There we go. Javi Baez, duck on the pond. A little soft liner to Herman Long. Here's Ernie Banks. Billy Williams is like, you should try getting a hit. It's great.
Was he hitting like
20? They put him on. They put Banks on.
What?
To pitch to Sandberg.
What is going on? Banks is hitting 36.
That's on reputation alone. Ernie Banks gets the intentional pass. Oh, and Sandberg cranks one. Murphy's on it. All right. It works. That lunatic strategy just works. So who am I to judge? Here's Chipper Jones.
Larry
Jones. Piazza also called Buster Posey Larry.
Is that his real name too?
No, his real name's Buster.
Is it actually Buster?
It is. It's his real name. Yep.
Wow.
Here's Herman Long.
That's a name I don't think I could have snuck by my wife.
Yeah, Buster. Yeah.
I can't imagine that's a familial name either. So
yeah, I mean, now if this is too inside baseball, be sure you strike me down here. But I firmly believe any parent or soon-to-be parent has veto power on a name, right? Because if your wife always loved the name Rocky, that's not going to fly in the Weber household, right? If there's a guy you really didn't like. Or if you're like, what if it's a girl, we'll name her Stephanie? And Stephanie was the meanest girl in your wife's high school, right? Like,
yeah.
Veto power is a real thing.
That's Buster seems like one of those names where they must have just had a knockdown, drag out fight over names for like a week.
Right.
And then maybe they went to Dave and Buster's. We're like, okay.
Right. And somebody gave up.
Oh, really? It is Gerald Dempsey. Okay.
Gerald Dempsey.
I was thinking Buster just seemed a little too.
I don't know. Buster Olney on this podcast says that the only other, birth certificate named Buster guy he's ever met was Buster Posey. So somebody's lying. I'm going to bet it's Buster Olney, trying to pretend like he's not the only one.
Gerald Dempsey, Buster Posey the third. The third, even.
Buster Witwicky?
Sorry?
I don't know.
Buster. Let me check Buster Olney.
Hey, I forget, but it's pretty good.
See, that's not even Buster's name. His name is Robert Stanbury, only the third. Maybe
really?
they're both the third. Buster the third.
Weird. So he's a dirty liar, and it's easy to fact check him. Shoot, who am I thinking of? There's a Texas Rangers outfielder. Oh, Rusty Greer. Cameron, find me Rusty Greer's real name. I think it's awesome if I remember. Meanwhile, Ozzy
It is
Albies.
good. I looked it up. You want it?
Is it Thurman?
Thurman Clyde Greer the third. My God, they're raining thirds right now.
I wonder if he was named after Thurman Munson, right? Like Mickey Mantle was named after Mickey Cochran. I know that because his dad loved Mickey Cochran.
Let's see.
Oh, geez. Raise your hand if you used to be the brand manager of Transformers for Hasbro. And I blew it with Buster Witwicky. In fairness, there's no H in Witwicky, but fine.
Wait, sorry, who's brother of? He was a Transformer? Or
he was a human
Okay.
they ran around with on the cartoon.
Oh,
Mickey Tettleton, named after Mickey Mantle. All right, that makes sense.
Interesting. So wait, okay.
Gerald Dempsey Posey. All right, fair enough.
There's a lot of deep Transformers lore that I'm not familiar with.
My son can teach you. He has so many robots. Holy smokes. Because I was just feeding them to him when I worked for Hasbro. Here's 5 more from work. Here's 5 more. He's got so many, and they're all in his.
These are all the esoteric ones that didn't come to market.
Yeah, and he's a freshman in college now, right? So, with a girlfriend.
Whoa.
So, maybe he's not sending room pictures.
This is it. Yeah. Well, he has him at his dorm.
He has a couple at his dorm. He'll bring a couple with him every time he comes home. He swaps out the few in his room.
See, that's smart. That's smart.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, he's the kid who likes robots. He's not just the robot kid, right? So, right.
Perfect.
Here's
you can make an engineering argument with Transformers.
Yeah, I think that's partly why he likes it. He's studying engineering, so I think he's always liked the duality of it and the idea of, do you start as a designer? Do you start with the car or the plane or whatever, and then figure out how it becomes a robot, or do you start with a robot and figure out how it becomes a plane? Like, it's always hypnotized. So, anyway,
there hasn't been a movie recently, huh? Have they sort of settled that franchise now?
I mean, I think
seems like that's such an easy one to make $150 million.
Yeah, I think they've been trying to. I don't know what Michael Bay's contract is with it. But I think they've been trying to get away from the Bayness of it a little bit. And the last one they did was an origin story, all animated, that came out last summer. And it was a pretty good flick, and it didn't make much money. So I don't know if it's the animation thing versus live action, or if people just like what they like. But I'm not sure what's coming out next. Oh, it's a good point. We are talking Transformers movies. I appreciate it, Cam. All right, here's Ron Santo. Sitting down.
Yeah, you guys got to remember that these weekly broadcasts, like Mark and I don't usually talk between them.
Yeah.
We'll shoot a text here and there, so it's just like hanging out.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate the kick in the pants.
So Wilson out at first. We're going to challenge that. Overturned. That's amazing. I hardly ever get him overturned. Hack Wilson safe at first. Maybe the just didn't want to argue with him and smell that breath. That might have been what's up. Here's Ring Stevenson, owner of the only homer of the game so far. Oh, Dick Rudolph is ready, by the way, if this gets any worse. Not quite enough. Here's Chris Bryant. currently being seduced by the dark side.
You can see the red lightsaber off to the
right, or banished to the Phantom Zone. I haven't figured it out. All right, so first and second, 2 outs. Murphy's got to get Hart in it here, I think, or it's Dick Rudolph's time. Fred McGriff charges like Andres Thomas, makes the play. Yeah, it is kind of a GQ headshot. Let's see. Okay, so here's.
We need to sit that guy down, or is it?
Yeah, I mean he's still got 70 pitches, but it looks like Smoltz has righted the ship. So hang on, I gotta become Atlanta.
It just makes me laugh. That one time that story that Rab has about the one game he's going to pitch in Little League, and the coach had him like throw 100 warm-up pitches. He was just in the bullpen for like a half hour before the game, just shooting bullets. So he got in. By the time he got in the game, he had like 120 pitches underneath the throw.
They were talking about the Japanese high school like pitch or die tournament they have every year. That's like the biggest thing ever. And it's always in the stadium for I think it's the Hanshin Tigers. And it takes so long that the Tigers go on a 21-game road trip every season to loan out their stadium to the high schoolers. And they talked about all the amazing performances by guys you would know over the years. They talked about Otani, and they talked about Arabu. And then they talked about Daisuke Matsuzaka, who threw like 155 pitch complete game shutout in like the semifinal. And then 2 days later came back, and he started the next game. It went extra innings. He won through like a 3-hitter in a 14-inning victory, and threw 245 pitches as a high schooler 2 days after throwing 400 pitches in 3 days. Like the fact that
make them like they used to.
The fact that his arm just didn't fall off, right? Like, come on. But anyway, here's Dale Murphy. Oh, wait a minute. I'm still controlling Atlanta. And that wouldn't be right. Okay.
There you go, Murph.
Center. Murph's on base for the Crime Dog. One of the only Bourbon nicknames I actually liked. The Crime Dog, Fred McGriff. Because McGriff had almost no personality, near as I could tell, right? As a fan, anyway. Murphy is 75% to steal.
Send him.
No, we're not Atlanta.
Oh, that's right.
We're not going to send him. We're going to keep him close.
Take control of Atlanta and send him.
I keep taking control of Atlanta, but Chris Bryant's all over it.
I feel like we should get an exception for Murphy in any capacity.
Do you think Bryant used the force maybe to pull that ball into the glove? Perhaps.
We should get AI to use superimpose a little bit of a red glow
I can make it happen.
Let's do it.
I don't need AI. I got yellow belt Photoshop skills. Here's Eddie Matthews.
That's a good one, Cameron. Arrest is emotionally distraught.
That's pretty good.
That's legit.
He also did Jim 2 silhouettes on Deshays. And I'm like, come on, dude. Even as a kid, I'm like, that's a stretch. Bert, be home by 11. Fly 11.
That's a good one.
Here's Eddie Matthews. Chris Bryant's under it. Looks like no trouble. There you go. So Smoltz has righted the ship on some level. 2 scoreless innings in a row as we go to the 6th. Here's what has been a soft bottom of the order for the Cubbies. All right. I shouldn't have opened the bourbon can. Because now we got Joseph Live and Let It Die.
That's not bad. I'll allow.
My favorite Berman thing was watching him try to do the NFL draft at 60 years old. And things were just moving so fast and somebody was in his ear the whole time that eventually they had to wait until Berman was done to signal the commissioner to come out. Because otherwise it was just a terrible broadcast.
There was some guy who broke Berman down on the draft. And basically, Berman was just tipping all the draft picks. I forget if he did it a couple years in a row, but he'd be like, okay, now up for the Steelers. I wonder if they're going to take a certain cornerback from Miami. Yes. But apparently, the guy was just, after, it's a couple years back. The guy was just irate. He's like, just let them do the picks.
Right. You don't need, it's not a spoiler it's not good journalism if they handed you a card. Come on. All right, here's Hobby Bias. Oh, look at Hobby.
Oh, man, that's a laser.
That's gone.
Wow, that must have been a leg kick.
I think we're the man.
Must have been early in the count.
Right, must have been. He gets around the bases fast. You know why? Because he never walks. There you go.
Not bad.
Here's Ernie Banks.
Oh.
Not quite. Not with the Murph out there.
The Murph.
All right, but it is 4-1 Cubs. Here's Rhino Samber. That's lazy. Hank Aaron, Braves down 4-1. We're top of the 7th. Mordecai Brown only at 77 pitches. He's cruising. Which is good because the Cubs' pen is not that good. Hugh Duffy.
That's such a funny photo.
Here's Chipper Jones. Chipper had I heard him say, and I never thought about this because I couldn't hit right-handed. I couldn't even stand left-handed. It felt too weird. And he was talking about switch hitting, and he said, I can't even imagine a breaking pitch going away from me. Mm. And I'm like, God damn, your whole career you knew if it was going to break, it was going to come towards you. Wherever you were, lefty, righty, it was going to come towards you. And like, that's really interesting. Like he was like incredulous at the concept of it. What most hitters deal with all the time, right?
Yeah.
Man. Oh, look at this. Separated at birth.
Yeah. There were some locks on the back there. Maybe a little mullet. You could see it.
I just wish they'd have got him a hat that fit, right? That hat looks like it needs a propeller on it. Like, poor guy.
Wool was expensive back then.
I guess. He washed it one time. And they're like, that sucks to be you, man.
Yeah, it actually was probably a regular size cap.
You'll get a new cap next year, maybe. But we're going to take it out of your salary.
One per career.
Here's Larry Jones. Larry Jones sounds weird.
Pitching for Atlanta.
Oh, there we go.
Phil Niekro.
Now, I wouldn't have put Niekro in because Niekro is supposed to pitch game 4. That's a little ways away.
He is a knuckler, though, so you could sort of be like, well, maybe.
We're not gonna let him pitch more than an inning. Just
okay. That's
should have been Niekro. Should have been my guy.
Look at that cap, though. Speaking of caps,
that cap is lovely, right? You could serve a pizza on top of that cap with that flat in it.
That's like Jim Leland in Pittsburgh. So good.
Jim Leland, right now. Jim Leland's like, nah, that's bullshit.
How could you not like Jim Leland?
Dude, Jim Leland just blew smoke into your face, Roto.
Jim Leland was somehow like more old school than the coaches I had in high school. Just amazing. I mean, he was like just generations back. That was his era.
Coach Ricketts was like, man, Leland should calm down a little bit. Man. Get with it.
That guy's old.
All right, here's Ron Santo. Niekro out of the pen would have been a nightmare, though, right? The last 2 at-bats were against Smoltz. Now you get this knuckleball doing crazy.
Could you imagine Torrey seeing him jogging and being like, oh, God.
Torrey's like, Jesus Christ. Now I got this guy.
Son of a beep.
I liked when Wakefield was having his run with the Red Sox. I think it was Doug Mirabelli was the backup catcher, and he was just the Wakefield caddy because Veritek wanted nothing to do with that, right?
You're right.
And Mirabelli had like a bedroom pillow with like bungee cords around.
Yeah,
it,
like
right?
was it the Rusty Kuntz like
Yeah.
86 Fleer mitt? You remember that one? Like,
Yeah, he would try to catch it like someone trying to catch a mouse on the floor
yeah.
with a pan like a pan lid.
Just
stay
trap
down
it.
there,
Just
right?
trap
Yeah,
it.
Just stop it. Here's Hack Wilson
Ball.
walking.
Send him.
I'm gonna get Dick Rudolph. I mean, that almost sounded dirty. I got to be careful. Because it shouldn't be Necro anyway. So hang on. Let me get this going here. Atlanta doesn't have a very deep pen either. They have John Rocker, which is great.
John Rocker.
That
That guy is very active on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter was made for John Rocker. And Trevor Bauer in Japan is like, dude, Rocker needs to calm it down with it.
Right.
But they have Kimbrel in his prime. So they just have so many starters. They just bleed into the pen. Okay, so now I got to give control back to Atlanta. Former Royals coach, Rusty Kuntz. I missed this, but
For his Necro.
he hauls freight. Yeah, he's
Looks like it.
a big city trucker. Okay, so one down. Wilson on first.
What was
Rick
that trucking
Stevenson.
movie from the 70s where the guy did? Was it Burt Reynolds or?
Oh,
It was like a monkey, or was that
that's Eastwood.
Eastwood? That's right.
Was that a trucker movie? remember-
Wasn't he driving a rig? Maybe not.
I don't remember. I just remember it would come on as like the ABC movie of the week, and it was like Every Which Way But Loose or Any Which Way
Okay,
You
that
Can.
sounds right.
I'm like, how did Prime Eastwood go? Yeah, I'll sign up for the orangutan trilogy. Like, all right,
Sometimes you gotta switch it up, man, or you get typecast,
I
right?
guess, right?
You can only shoot so many people in those Italian spaghetti westerns.
I guess that's true. But then he was very hairy for a while.
Yeah,
he
that's
was always kind of angry. So maybe he needed the orangutan to calm down, right? Here's Chris Bryant. Wild pitch. Send Wilson to second. Safe chance 35%. Wilson's not even drunk enough to try that, so no. 1 and 2 to Bryant. 2 down. Sits him down. Good for you. All right. Long's a good bunter. We'll probably bring Santo in a little bit. Because, yeah, we are running long. I've been chatting about Autobots too much. Here's Ozzy Albis. Whatever. Ernie Banks can still pick it. 2 down for Murphy. Oh, he sends it.
Oh,
Hack's under it, though. Look at
Did it?
that. Yeah.
Wow.
Hack Wilson.
All right.
Pretty good defender.
So you want to get
Okay.
open?
Yeah, it's not going to be Necro. He's not pitching 2 innings. So. Now, I never saw Phil Necro pitch, but I saw Tigers Twins.
Is that the Emery board?
It was his first game back from the Emery board suspension.
Gotcha.
And the Tigers beat the death out of him. And they didn't score them all off him, but they won 8-0. And the fans were all shaking Emery boards
Nice.
at Joe Necro. I remember that. And it was an old Tiger stadium, and my seat was we were in like upper deck left field. I was behind a pole with people all over, right? So I couldn't like lean over. So it looked like computer baseball. The pitch would come in and I disappear and then just ricochet out. It was like watching half a game of Pong. It was awful. Here's Gabby Hart. Oh, wait a minute. I got to put in Dick Rudolph. I got distracted by my tail of
The
the
angry
board.
board.
Look at those.
I do
ears.
enjoy those pitchers though that had the reputation, and then they would play it up. They'd messing with their bill all the
Yeah.
time, and like kind of messing with their mid, and like you could see the batters being like, "Hey."
I like that in the '88 NLCS where the Dodgers beat the heavily favored Mets. The Mets knew that Jay Howell was putting stuff on the ball, but they were killing Jay Howell out of the pen, so they didn't say anything until a critical time when they thought, I forget if it was extra innings or something, and they're like, now's when we get him. So it was kind of like the Yankees knew the pine tar on Brett Spat was beyond legal, but they just sat on that, right? They're like, we'll wait on this and use it when it'll help. Hence, when Mount Brett exploded.
Although, like when you actually see that bat, like that pine tar, it's like basically at the label. It's like, well, okay, that's a harder one to like feign innocence on.
I mean, sport aside, I think that's the angriest I've ever seen a human being. When Brett burst out of that dugout, I think he was going to kill everybody, not just anybody. Very good moment. All right, here's Gabby Hartnett leading off. I'm not sure what happened there.
Did he launch one? Still going.
I don't know what's happening here. There goes Hugh Duffy across the street.
Hey, grab a beer.
Ow, what was that?
Oh, he got it? It must have been a foul ball.
No, it was a double. It's in the corner. Hartnett rounds second. Matthews fires to second. Hartnett reaches for the bag. He's out. But it doesn't explain the ball going sideways from the scoreboard, nor Hugh Duffy running across the street for a cold one. And Hack Wilson following him. Wait for me.
T-Rex.
That's awesome. All right. Hey, they always say you see
welcome, Rob.
You see something new every day, right? Oh, man. Absolutely. Hugh Duffy went to get the goat. Nice routine play. I don't even know what that was. Just like we threw it up, though. All right, here's Billy Williams, 2 for 3 on the day.
We need to wrap this up so the computer doesn't glitch out and we have to do the replay where it's 14 to 10 or something.
Look at that. Billy Williams, 61%. Yeah, not yet. Here's Javi Baez. Sitting down. Ernie Banks. Oh, that's going to get through. Send Williams to third. Safe chance, 98%.
I feel comfortable with that call.
That's Steiner math. We're going with that. Get in there. Did the ball hit a bird? Maybe. I saw, here's another non sequitur. I saw a bit from the softball, NCAA softball championships, where the pitcher kicked up a clod of dirt off her cleat. And because she's throwing underhand, the ball just pulverized it on the way in. And it showered dirt into the catcher's face. And so all you see, especially as close as that mound is, right, with as big as a softball is, the catcher catches the ball and then immediately grabs her eye. Wow. And you're like, what happened? And they go to the super slow-mo, and it's incredible seeing this little dirt clod fly up and then as big as a softball is, right? Just pulverized it, murdered her own catcher in the face. Pretty solid.
Crazy.
All right, first and third, 2 out. Ryan Saber. Oh, that's getting down. Maybe Dick Rudolph wasn't the right call. That's pretty good.
Wow. That kind of felt good.
There was a story about some rookie receiver with the Broncos who yelled at an aging John Elway, "Show me that arm, old man." He's like, all right. And so he was running a button hook or a turnaround or something. And Elway gave it his best fastball, but he threw it early. And the rook turned around and the ball got wedged in his mask. And they called him Snuffleupagus. Yeah. Outstanding. All right, here's Ron Santa. Yeah, Dick Rudolph wasn't the answer today.
Wow.
I feel somewhat responsible. Phil Necro is judging me from the dugout, but it's 6-1, and Atlanta's got to get somebody else ready because this got ugly fast. So, Warren Spahn, fine. He's not scheduled to pitch. He's a Hall of Famer.
Just Warren Spahn.
Yeah, no big deal. Spawn insane and pray for rain. Computer. All right, here we go. Here's Hack Wilson. We are running late. I'm too chatty. Oh, that's way over Duffy's head.
Jeez, dude.
Oh.
Woo.
Dick Rudolph is going to be Dick Cool FM Rudolph here before we know it. Let's
this one might be in the bag.
Yeah, this isn't speeding anything up, but I'm trying to be as fair to Atlanta as I can be. Mound trip. Rudolph is strong now. He's also wild. Stevenson.
Jeez.
CNI single.
It's like the conga line in that
right?
Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Spawn is ready. Okay.
Pitching for Atlanta, number 21, Warren Spahn.
Look at those ears. Woo! It looks like they stitched the M on crooked. Right?
Yeah, those old wool hats, man.
Yeah, it's not a good look, but fine. Atlanta, I hope this helps. Because that got ugly fast. Here's Chris Bryant. Walking. Man. Duffy. You, Duffy, we hardly knew you. Is that Abe Pagoda? No. No, Abe Pagoda only comes out at Christmas. Remember when we hang the Christmas pagoda? Jeez. Here's Gabby Hartnett. Come on, Herman Long. Over to Albies. Takeout slide by Chris. Oh, no, there were two out. Okay, fine. So finally, mercifully, it's 9-1 Cubs. 4-hitter so far. Maybe a 5-hitter.
He's given up one hit in the last 8 innings.
He's pretty strong, yeah.
I think that first inning he had 3, right?
That's right. Here's Joe Torre sitting down. Eddie Matthews.
Look at that. He's covering the bag.
He didn't get him, though. Throw was too high. Brown goes up. He can't get it. Matthews safe at first. Error E3. Here's Hank Aaron. Launching one. But look at Hack Wilson. Money. And that's it.
The final score from Wrigley Field, Chicago 9, Atlanta 1. Mordecai Brown picks up the win. John Smoltz picks up the loss.
Well,
Baez hit
every single Cub had a hit.
Look at this. Dick Rudolph had plus stuff
Hack
today.
Wilson hit number 3. Time of the game, 2 hours, 36 minutes.
6 hits.
It says MLB is investigating Hugh Duffy for wearing a jetpack on the field. Curious. Mordecai Brown, 9 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks.
Wow.
5 strikeouts. MVP of the day. And that's how it goes. At least it was competitive for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, game 1 to the Cubs. And as we said earlier, that was a I've got this. I couldn't play that without this getting flagged on YouTube, right? I play 5 seconds of it. But yeah, he can get a new hat. Maybe that's where Hugh Duffy was going, to the hat shop, help his buddy out.
Hat shop in Wrigleyville.
Well, we saw. Oh, look at this. Who did he find over there? King Kelly.
Yeah.
No, I bet when Duffy disappeared, Kelly was already on the step. Like, I'm ready, Skip.
When he disappears, he tracks him down, hits him with a blackjack, and
Yeah, exactly right. He's doing the Nancy Kerrigan holding the Why?
I can see King Kelly carrying a little blackjack.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so it's Cubs 9, Atlanta 1. The Chicago takes game 1 of the NLCS. We'll have game 2 posted tomorrow morning, as well as game 3 of the ALCS as the playoffs roll on. We appreciate you guys joining us as we tear through these playoffs. I hope they're a good series. The Yankees Tigers series is good so far. We'll see if Atlanta can come back in game 2. That is Greg Maddux versus Hippo Vaughn.
Nice.
So we'll see. We'll see how that shakes out. But anyway, we're late. We appreciate you sticking with us, and we'll hope you join us again next week for another thrilling edition of the Eternal Baseball Podcast.
Night, everyone.